Good evening. Joined here tonight on After the Buzzer by Aaron Carpanini from Exeter Spartans. Thanks for your time, Aaron. Thanks for dropping in.
Absolutely, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Um, Busy time of the year for you with Exeter Spartans. New season, or old season ended, new season about to begin. Um, I much appreciate your time. Whilst we just have a little general discussion about all things Spartans and yourself. So, if you don't mind, a little bit of background to yourself. How did you get into basketball? What's your involvement, sort of thing?
Yeah, of course. I'm Aaron Carpanini. I'm obviously a massive within Exeter Spartans. I'm currently the chairman, head coach of the men's national league team, but that doesn't kind of portray my role within the club and the community. I do absolutely anything and everything to ensure that the experience by all in and around Exeter is as it could be, and as hopefully as best as we can provide at any one moment, but also trying to encourage others to join that kind of movement. I got into basketball through teaching. It's just something that I found I enjoyed. PE teacher, have been for 16, 17 years. I found that I really enjoyed basketball and the coaching of it in particular. That led me down a pathway where I got more and more involved in the learning the game, learning how to coach it, learning how to play it, learning how to referee it, learning the table side of things. And then I got into Exeter Spartans about 7 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. Uh, and yeah, as they say, um, that's how it started. And now we're here kind of thing. We're, you know, certainly very different to where we started, or
Yeah,
certainly when I joined the club.
it's quite. I know your background, obviously, and as you said, PE teacher side of things. Um, we find it quite unusual. Basketball is quite a strange sport for schools, isn't it? Quite a few PE teachers don't take to it. So what was it that drew you to basketball?
I think that was it. I think it's a great game. It's such a versatile game. Can be played on so many different levels, from very beginner kind of just picking up a ball, from my son who's 4 or 5 years old just picking up a ball and playing, all the way to the highest level. And it was seeing a massive gap in standard, in the fact that it wasn't being provided at school. It certainly wasn't provided to me at school. My version of some of the rules when I was at school certainly were not anywhere near what they should have been, and just felt like educationally we were letting schools and pupils down by not giving them these experiences. And then I found a gap within the teaching, and there still is a gap within teaching, because many schools, although it's getting better,
Mhm.
schools kind of do it more of a token gesture, and therefore I found that gap within the schools. Started to build a platform within my own school, and then found the problem was that we either didn't have schools or anybody to play, and therefore started kind of moving down towards getting involved in some local clubs, and then got involved within my hometown club. And like I say, it's continued from there, and with the group of guys and ladies that run Exeter Spartans now, got a really great core, and building something and trying to grow it each and every year.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's an American term, I know, but as a franchise, Exeter Spartans is definitely growing and becoming known not just in the Exeter area, but in the Southwest. Yeah, as a really good club, longitude, I can never say that word. Club for all ages, from young to old.
Yeah, very much so. The club was started by a Greek guy called Michael Trulis back in 2017. He just noticed that there was a gap within Exeter. There was no basketball clubs for any juniors at that point. He started the club. There was about 6 or 7 members to begin with, all within Exeter College, who are our partners within this. They started these sessions very small. Mike, Ryan, who you know well, Alex Boyle, head of PE, also got involved with that. As it grew, and I got involved just before COVID. And when I got involved just before COVID, we had 2 teams. We had the under 16 ish boys and the under 16 again ish girls. We took the plunge then and entered them into kind of the National League kind of side of things, and it was a very big learning kind of curve season. And since then, we've taken on different age groups, different aspects. We've included the men's teams. We've had ladies teams at times, and we're now at somewhere in the region of 250 members, give or take, within any season. So yeah, from six to kind of that number, the logistical problems have grown, but it's also seen a big positive culture and community kind of trend that's switched, which is, like I say, growing every year. And it's a nice problem to have.
Yeah, and with that, there's little I won't call it cast-offs, but other little clubs forming around the area and a few more junior sides coming. And I know running the league, we often have obviously emails come in from parents going, "My little Johnny wants a club," and it was always very difficult to find anything. Like you said, in Exeter, there was just nothing junior wise and nothing ladies wise either, until Exeter Spartans made that jump, so to speak.
No, it's definitely part of our kind of mission that it's not just about building our own club, it's about building, the community in Exeter and surrounding areas within basketball. And it would be silly to think that just having one club within this area is going to be sustainable for any amount of time. The people that are now creating these, whether it be an existing men's team that's adding juniors, or whether it be like these new junior coaching sessions that are growing, it's great for the community that we're in, because the more players playing basketball, the more competitive we can be. We can stop traveling these silly distances that we're having to travel within the southwest, which would be great. We can have these intercity leagues rather than trying to get the standard that we want by traveling 2 to 4 hours. And that's only going to be beneficial. The more time, the more clubs, the more time on court that the players can get is obviously going to be beneficial for their development, but it's also going to be key to development of basketball within this area. We don't have enough clubs, especially junior wise, in and around Exeter. We have Plymouth, which is obviously the nearest, Torbay, Taunton, but certainly not enough to build a real big positive basketball community, and that's part of our kind of mission goals.
Yeah. And you obviously came into Exeter Spartans, like you said, 6, 7 years ago with the under 16 boys and girls, under 16-ish.
Yeah,
Um, and I suppose, in a way, um, because of the lack of availability of teams, you're a victim of your own success, really, weren't you? Because you had a very good, definitely, is it under 16 girls? That
yeah. So we won the under 16 girls won the Southwest. Well, sorry, not the Southwest Conference at the time. It was called the Central Conference at the time for the National League. We had two GB players within that core group, and a number of Southwest representees. Yeah, like I said, we did really, really, really well. Probably overachieved that season because it was only I think it was our first or second season in the National League. Um, and ultimately, COVID hit 3/4 of the way through the season. I think we just about scraped the final game that we needed to have played in order to be crowned champions that season. We spent, I think it was in Oakland's, or it was certainly,
it was right at the end of the season, wasn't it? COVID hit about March time when it was official.
yeah, we had to play that game to win the league, or if we hadn't have played that game, I don't know if we would have. And then COVID hit, but players had been picked up from other clubs thinking that they might move, and it caused a bit of a stall for us. And we do get that kind of issue here in terms of, because we're still building our community. We still have, where the next divisions lie, players do get picked off just because they're closer. So, Bristol and Up is generally where the National League is based. We're a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, until clubs and regions get bigger, you're gonna struggle to have the what steps next, really, isn't it, for the individuals, which unfortunately is, more or less what happened with that team with some of the better players.
It,
Obviously,
exactly that.
yeah,
We're not that kind of club that would stop somebody in their development by trying to hold on to somebody. But at the same time, we're also, you know, positive about our own experiences and our own capabilities in order to make, players as good as they can be. And we'd be silly not to promote ourselves in the fact that we've got a really good core coaching team. We're developing coaches and players and kind of referees and everybody all at the same time. We have a very good product as a club. And it's a good offer for the finance that we can offer it with and the time that we can offer it with. There's so many different challenges that running a club comes with. But also we're aware that we're not as evolved as some of the other clubs within the country, so we do have to push players when they need to go,
Yeah.
and force their development further.
I mean, it was a brilliant achievement, as you say. At least two, I think, got GB honours from that side, or selected for GB. But you know, you are only, as in Exeter Spartans, you are only 8 years old, 9 years old, or whatever. So it does come, but the brand and the franchise that's being built with the foundations there is definitely a good sign for the future with the numbers involved.
Yeah, definitely. We're like you say, we're promoting our own club. The brand is great. We've signed a kit deal in the last kind of 12 months with VX3. That's helping our brand and our image, which is really important to us moving forwards to have that consistency, as well as the quality that they can provide. We're able to provide or to kind of create these players that do get these honors, which is amazing. But that's part of our kind of mission. But at the same time, we also want to create these basketballers for life. These people that pick up a ball and then that's their sport, for the future. So that's really important to us as well. And I think we're seeing that more and more as we're getting older as a club. We're seeing more and more players either, if they've gone away to kind of college, university, they're coming back, they're entering the leagues, they're joining the national league teams. We're seeing them within other clubs, within different leagues or different national league, etc. And that's really positive because that's something that we're aiming to do at the same time. We're trying to just create basketballers, something to love the sport that I've grown to love, that the other guys have grown up with or love at the same time. It's just instilling that passion that we have into them. And
Yeah.
I think it's so easy. Within basketball, you just don't get the experiences.
No, no, right. So, looking forward to the season coming, you've got men's team in the National League, Division Two,
Division three,
Division Three. Sorry.
the numbers have just changed, haven't they?
Yeah,
So we've
yeah.
jumped
Sorry.
one division.
Yeah,
Some challenges in that division this year with our men's. We're going to be doing a fair bit of travel. We've somehow got some teams within London, 3 or 4 teams from London, 2 or 3 teams on the south, kind of east coast. We do have, the closest trip is probably Cornwall at the moment, but very hopeful with the group that we've hopefully recruited, and that should, the idea of our men's team is to inspire those youngsters and the community to kind of want to have that passion within basketball. So
yeah. Are the trials finished now for that team? Have we
yeah,
at that stage? Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Men's trials have finished. Like I say, we're not 100% recruited, or everybody we want yet. The university kind of their guys turn up within September, so we do see a few late additions to the squad, but we're mostly complete.
Good. Two sides in the men's local league.
Yeah, 2 sides or 2.5 sides potentially
Yeah.
in that men's local league. The
Yeah.
trials are still ongoing for that. They don't finish until Wednesday.
That's good.
And they've had a great turnout within those trials, which is really nice to see. Range of abilities, range of ages. Some new guys that we haven't seen before, whether they be old or returning or new, or younger. And what's great to see is our juniors that have progressed from previous years are starting to return as adults.
That's good. And the other good thing is obviously if they're not successful in the trials, we tend to find them spaces in other teams, clubs around the extra area. So, it's not someone lost, because that's the last thing obviously any of us want.
Absolutely not. No, that's not what we want to do. And for us, it's building that community. So it's really important. We always signpost them to the other clubs that locally, in the hope that we can fit them. We try to fit as many people as we can, but ultimately, we've only got X amount of coaches, X amount of court time, and that is growing. But we still have the problem: we don't own the building, and we have to share the court and share the costs. So it's one of the challenges we face.
And what about junior teams? What have you got? National League or Southwest region?
Yeah, junior national league. So we've returned to the under 14 national league as per last year. We've returned to the under 16 national league conference as last year. We've added our under 16s to an official regional league run by BE this year, which is different. That's going to be a really positive change for our under-16s. And then we've added, in partnership with Exeter College, an under-18 team this year. And that's going to be run through the academy as such, but still will be turning out as Exeter Spartans at the weekend. So it'll be the Exeter College group of players that are generally majority have come through our junior programs, but
Mhm.
there are additions within that. We just wanted to give them more opportunities to compete at a higher level, which is hopefully going to aid their development, and that seems to be really positive this year, hopefully. But it's again, it's more challenges, more problems, but we're going to overcome those and ensure it's successful come this time next year.
And it's a great partnership you've got with Exeter College as well. You mentioned it there with obviously some of the players, and obviously that's your home court. And yeah, to be fair, for the level the teams are participating at, a great home court, great show court. Um,
Yeah,
Anyone can
absolutely.
come along and watch National League games for a minimal fee, really, and I'm sure the players appreciate it.
Yeah, very much so. Exeter College as a partnership are fantastic. They really do help us out. It does help having, obviously Alex and Ryan working within the college, but it's a fantastic facility. There's not many better within the Southwest for this level, especially. And like you say, to have the show court, with this capacity of 300 plus, and on a Saturday evening when the men's games are there, again, it's really positive. We're seeing our juniors, we're seeing local families come and have a night out for, like you say, a very minimal cost to see some, a good level of basketball. And again, just trying to inspire that next generation into picking up a basketball, or just somebody, or anybody to pick up a basketball and try and get involved in this sport, which is great.
I mean, I'm a little bit biased, obviously, Aaron, but I can't think of a sport where you get so many full family groups coming to watch a game and all be able to appreciate it rather than, you get some sports where, token the males or the youngsters like it or the older ones like it, but you can get a family unit come along to basketball and there's something for everyone, isn't there? To keep them
Yeah, absolutely.
engaged.
It's fast paced. It's exciting to watch. It's up and down. There's never a dull moment as such. And we often see families come to our games and sit and watch them. They'll once they get to one, they'll return. It's just building that challenge. It's always the challenge of getting there the first time. Once they've come and watched once, we know they'll come back another time because of the spectacle that it is, because of the engagement that you get through basketball. I don't think there's a better a sport to watch live. It is great.
Yeah. And when are the fixtures confirmed now? Are we still waiting for? I know they always send out a preliminary sort of
Yeah.
set of fixtures
We,
first.
we've just got the last Thursday we had the preliminary draft of fixtures. They're still up for debate within clubs till the 31st of August. I'm hoping the first home game will be just in early October. If it all goes well, and then building up towards Christmas, we've entered the National Cup again for the men's side, so there'll be a local derby at some point in October, I imagine, in the first round, which is great. And those will all be released, as and when our social media allows, when that deadline passes, because lots of clubs will put in requests before then.
Yeah, and that's good news. And putting National League to one side, plenty of opportunities for the youngsters to participate and get game time, either regionally or sort of the little local central venue. Um,
Yeah, we do lots of kind of different levels of basketball, and that's really important. Like I said earlier, it's not just for the elite. We have our national league teams as kind of our upper element of it, but we also have our regional league teams, both under 16, under 14, and then below that we have our central venue league teams where they can compete. Against generally on those days there's multiple games, and that goes all the way down to kind of I think our youngest player that competes in them is about normally 6 or 7. And that goes from that kind of age all the way up to 16. So they have a range of games to meet their ability or their development at that stage. And there's, often a player will start within that level and make their way up, which is great to see. But we're also still building those players just to play as and when kind of they see fit. So it's just trying to get their confidence within those kind of different ranges of gameplay.
yeah. And I think I'm right, and please correct me if I'm wrong. Saturdays is the big home day, isn't it, for basketball at Exeter Spartans?
Yeah, Saturday's going to be a really busy day this year. Potentially on any given Saturday, we might have four fixtures now. And there are going to be a few Saturdays that we're aiming to get all of our National League sides at home, or certainly, four games in a row with our regional sides. And that's the kind of the day that we hit the ground running. We have our under 12s early in the morning, and then our girls section, which is really really popular now. Ginny and Belinda have done a fantastic job to build that from. Since COVID, where it kind of dipped, it's now grown back. We've got some fantastic numbers, both kind of under 12, under 14 girls, and then an under 16, under 17 girls program, which is really building towards re-entering our ladies teams back into kind of the Exeter and District League, which again is a goal of ours.
Good. And those games on a Saturday, they like to all be on the show court. Can people come and watch them all, or is it so it'll just be one court?
Yeah,
It'll be two courts at
absolutely. All of our National League games and our Regional League games on the show courts. People are more than welcome to come and watch. We post every Monday for the upcoming week as to what fixtures we've got around the club, whether that be within the Exeter District League, whether that be within the Regional League, CDL leagues, or whether that be National League. The only one we ask a small fee for is the men's game, just to cover the extreme costs of the sport, and that's something I don't think people see from behind the closed doors. So, basketball can be an expensive sport.
well, especially with, as you say, the travelling, the should we say the regional league going all the way across to London and beyond?
Yeah, it's technically we would be in the lower platform of the National League, and it's supposed to be regionalised to a degree, but just that we're in a division with 9 teams. I think within our region there's probably two, well, including us, 3 teams within kind of the southwest element of it. Everything else is above Bristol, and that again logistically makes its challenges. Player availability, distance, transport, cost. There's a lot of different elements that go into kind of running a men's national league team. I know other clubs have struggled with it previously. It's a different challenge that you wouldn't see.
Yeah. I'm not really asking for the secret, but so for endurance for Exeter Spartans, what's the main components you're after or that you desire?
Um, in terms of just as a club, or
Yeah,
as
I mean, I suppose coaches, involvement by, I suppose parents still get involved with coaching.
100%. We never rest on our laurels in any aspect. We're always on the lookout for new coaches, new table officials, new referees. Without any of those people, the players aren't going to be able to play. And there's no good saying that we don't rest on one person. So whereas in the past I may have done 2 or 3 sessions, Alex may have done 2 or 3, Ryan may have done 2 or 3. We're ensuring that our longevity is at the same point, so that we share the load, and creating new coaches is only going to be positive. We offer the training courses for free via the club in return. That they, if we organise the coaching course for them, that they'll give 1 year's service back. The same with any table officials, any referees that we will provide. It's just really key to the sport. None of that can be done without the hard work. And I know some of us share the load more than others, but it's just really important that if, for instance, one of us was to turn around tomorrow and walk away, that the club or the league or the community wouldn't it kind of
Wouldn't suffer.
fail because
Yeah,
of it.
yeah, and that's a huge risk that needs to be managed. You're right, and by spreading the workload, you're more likely to keep people there longer as well, aren't you? As you say, it
Yeah,
improves.
you don't want people to feel overwhelmed. I've seen it many times across different sports where somebody has burnout, or that they become overwhelmed with the amount of work that they're doing, and therefore they don't just have a break. They kind of disappear from that community. And that we have some really fantastic individuals within our club, within our community, within the Exeter District League, within the wider realms of the Southwest, and that it's you've got to keep the people involved, because if we don't keep the key people involved and build on more key people entering, then we're going to take a backward step, and we don't want to do that. We need to keep pushing forwards as a group.
Yeah, and aims for the season then, Aaron.
Oh,
I'm not asking you to, hammer your colours to the mast. But yeah, yeah, if you, what would look like a good season for you? Um, and some of us might say, well, to complete the season and still have a team at the end of it in some respects, but development wise is probably where I'm going.
Yeah, it's always key. Our goal is always to compete on any of the levels that we enter. We always want to make progress as a club, whether that be through player development, whether that be through coach development, whether that be through, numbers are great, but if you're not actually providing a quality product and building that quality at the same time, I almost feel like sometimes we rush into elements where we forget the product. We just want to get more and more numbers within it, and that's really key to us. We still want to provide that quality as we grow. So adding the next element, the under 18 team, kind of building on the under 16 success last year with Alex and his group, continuing to build on. It was only last year, the first year that we'd entered multiple clubs, multiple teams within the National League, build on that, and then still build on our development platform from our under 12s, under 14s, still build on our men's Exeter district teams to continue that all those elements are consistent before we can then decide what's next to grow. And I think that's what we do really well as a group. We're kind of ensure those elements are going well before we try to take on a new one. We're not trying to jump at different elements before they're ready.
Yeah, and I've had some. I know some of the parents personally, especially of some of your females or girls
Yeah,
involved, were very thankful and pleased that they're getting game time, and it's really getting that competitive game time is huge, isn't it? It's all right having training sessions, but actually participating in games is actually a big step.
it's massive. Within the kind of men's basketball within the area has been successful for many years. There's been a pathway into kind of men's basketball. Ladies is growing, but boys and girls, we've had to really push, and girls especially within the local area. And we're starting to build, as you said earlier, some local clubs where we're having kind of that lower level before you step into the National League pathway, where you're building that confidence, that success. And girls has been more difficult than the male side of things, just because of the numbers that were involved to begin with. But that's being really positive at the moment. Like I say, our kind of element of that club is building every day. But other clubs are doing the same, and that's fantastic to see. And that's again only going to benefit the sport moving forwards. And our club certainly wouldn't be where it is without the kind of the volunteers that put their time in, the coaches, the parents that just wash the kit, the parents that turn up and support. They do the tea or whatever it may be. Any little contribution is really valued.
Yeah, and I suppose the one stumbling block that we all suffer from is court availability, which you're lucky with the link up with Exeter College, but as you said, it doesn't guarantee you the court. There's still other sports that need to participate on that court, but
No, obviously, maybe one day there might be an Exeter Spartans court, but that realistically that's not going to happen for many years. Um, we have to share the facility, and we do have a large amount of time at Exeter College within that facility, and we're very lucky to do that. Because sports halls, with not just within Exeter but within Devon, within the country, are becoming a commodity. They're very booked up within, not just within basketball, but a range of sports: badminton, futsal, volleyball, whatever it might be. And it's becoming more and more difficult to get onto court time. And with demand becomes the cost, and the cost is getting higher and higher.
yeah, well, I know it's been on Exeter City's radar. I think their 10-year plan for about the last 10 years, to be honest, of
Yeah,
having a four-court venue, but we won't go there. That's a story for another day and
yeah.
issues. But as you say, it's one of those until you end up with your own court, the expenses still go because everything gets more expensive each year. And basketball is not a cheap sport, but we try and make it as cheap as possible for everyone to participate.
Very much so. We try to find as many kind of, we call them sponsors, but I like to call them partners within the game that we can kind of lower the price for our players,
Yeah.
because it can be really, really expensive.
Lovely, Aaron. I'm going to close up there. I'm going to wish you well for the new season, for next season, for Exeter Spartans, all your teams. Yeah, and success is just participation, really. Seeing the numbers there, playing, coaching, refereeing, doing the table, and as you say, even the volunteers that help around the club on match days, and the parents that drop
Yeah,
their kids off and ferry them around and everything.
that's sort of, like I say, from 2017, that didn't exist, and it takes time to create that community, and it's starting to really move forwards quickly now, and that's a really positive thing for the city, the league, the community we're in, which is amazing, and thanks to all those volunteers that do give up their time, because we're not the commodity of receiving any kind of salary from it. So it's great that people do want to get involved, and I urge if you're kind of listening and even just having an inkling, just reach out and get involved at your local club, whether that be, within the Exeter and District League or whoever that is.
Brilliant. Thank you for your time, Aaron. Have a great season ahead. And for anyone out there, Saturdays is the day. Watch out on social media. Get down to Exeter College and support your local National League side. Very convenient location. You can just pop off the train opposite. So
Exactly that.
you can have, for those that want it, you can have alcoholic beverage, watch a match, and not have to drive home afterwards. So have a great season and thank you for your time, Aaron.
Thanks for having me, Carl. Much
Right.
appreciated.
Cheers. Thank you.